G'day everyone and welcome to the Riverina region of New South Wales, where today I'm going bait fishing in a swollen Yanko Creek. Hey you! You're watching Robbie Fishing. Now, I fished in this section or this part of the Yanko Creek 12 months ago. It was June last year on a similar day with a howling southerly wind, but it was raining that day. Today we've got the howling southwesterly wind, no rain, and the creek is about 2 feet higher and it's flowing a lot stronger. So I'm using two rods, both with Jan-Jack worms. This one's got quite a big bean sinker and a running sinker rig. And I'm going to put that on the rod on the left. The current will probably wash that back around towards the bank a bit, and hopefully that bean sinker can find somewhere to rest. This one here, I've got an anchor for a sinker. This great big size 3 signature series bait weight made for me by Matt Thurling and his sons. And because this is the heavier sinker, this is going on the upstream side. That one can just go out in front of me there. Now, I had a bit of action here last year this time. It was June last year, in between lockdowns, and I only caught the one carp, and as I said, I caught a couple of crayfish on my worms, and I caught a yabby on my worms. Anyway, I love this spot. I'm up here with Loretta and Holly today. We're on a bird photography trip. I've hijacked that trip, and Loretta said I can have 2 hours to try and catch a fish. And in the words of my favourite TV host, Larry Emner, your time starts not yet. Time starts in 2 hours. Can we start the 2 hours in 2 hours time? Make it 4 hours? No, didn't think so. This video could contain a little bit of wind noise and poor audio. I just walked over to the car and grabbed my phone and I saw a nibble on the rod on the left. I've only been here about 5 minutes, so I've had my first nibble. Now, if last year is anything to go by, it could be a yabby or a crayfish or a carp. It's something pulling on it there now. I've been getting a few nibbles on the rod on the right here with the big sinker. It's moved, there it goes there. I reckon there's something that's got hold of that. Might just check the worms on this rod on the left here. There's something on here. Is that a crayfish? I'll see if I can drag it up onto the bank. It wasn't getting a bite, look at that. I caught him here last year. Now I'm going to catch him here again this year by the looks of it. It wasn't even getting a bite, but it had a nibble earlier, so I thought I'll pull it up and I'll check my bait. Sure enough, there's a young crayfish on there. Righto, little cray. These things are actually totally protected here. You're not allowed to catch crayfish here. So see you later, mate. Off you go. Right, I've put a fresh worm on to go with me cray mangled worm, and I put that back out there. Now, in case you're wondering what I'm actually targeting today, I don't really have a target species. I just enjoy this. I think the target is probably carp. I think it's carp that I'm most likely hoping to catch or expecting to catch. Although naturally, as with any fishing trip, I would prefer to catch a cod or a yellow belly, and they are here. I just think this time of year I've probably got more chance of catching a carp, and I might just check the bait on this other rod too. There's nothing on that. I've still got any bait. Yep, the worms are still there. All good. I'm going to check these baits again because I was just setting up a time-lapse camera, and when I looked over I was getting a bite on the rod on the right. That's how hard to turn. Tangled or something maybe. Something on here again. Don't tell me I've got another crayfish on here. Feels like it. And yes. Yeah. Holly's going to put this one back. Mate, let go of the... Just wait till it lets go. Now, even though it's a little one, it will still hurt, so be very careful, okay? We're just going to wait till it lets go of the worms.
Can I hold it while it lets go?
Hang on. Once he lets go, let go. These are protected here. You're not allowed to catch them here. Not like at home. But in saying that, at home, this one's protected too because he's undersized by a mile. Yeah, it's going to let go of him. If I hold this claw, he might open this claw to try and grab me. There we go. So, there you go. It's all yours. You hold it up and I'll... Just don't stand on me fishing rod, will you?
No.
Go you! Just sit it on the edge. Oh, there's a bite on the other rod. That's right. Just sit it on the edge and we'll watch it swim back in. See you later, mate.
See you later, mate.
Right, now I'll put that same worm back in. It's still got a bit of guts to it. And I'm going to check this other rod because he did a bite a minute ago as well. Just because there could be a crayfish there just munging on me worm. Nah, it's all good. It's all good. Holly tells me that the rod on the left just had a bite. Oh, there it goes. You were right. It's a bite. So that was more fishy, that one. Missed it. No, the other one's getting a nibble. I reckon that one there looked a little bit more fishy, more fish-like. That might have been a finned fish, not a shelled fish. There's a bite, look. See that? That's a fish bite. Surely. Huh? Looked like a fish bite. My boss asked me the other day if I could just stick 2 bits of wood together. I nailed it.
No, right?
Would you like some help with that?
No, thanks. What's that?
You're sitting there, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. Getting nibbles on both rods here. I hope I do catch some sort of... What are you doing? I'd like to catch some sort of finned fish. I can't help but think that I'd have more chance of catching a carp over there where the current's not as strong. This rod here is bent like a banana. I don't know whether it's a current or a cray. There's something on here. There's something small on here. It's either a yabby, a shrimp, or a little weeny little cray. Look at the size of it.
Hold it, please.
Yeah.
Will it hurt if it pinches me?
Yeah. Look at the size of that tiny, weeny little crayfish. Hang on, I'll put it over here and you can put him back, okay?
Okay.
There you go. Look at the size of it, it's tiny.
Oh, don't spin around, please.
You spin me right round, crayfish right round, like a spiky cray. Show everyone. Shadow in the way.
See you later.
Gone. And I'll put my anchor rig back out because that's what it is. Look at the size of that sinker. There's a nice kind of a bite.
I picked up an end and went flying.
Burley up the fish with an ant, you reckon? There's a cray on here. Might be a bigger one, this one.
I want to hold a massive one. It's not massive.
It's not massive, but bloody, it's the 4th crayfish. When crayfish attack, you know what I think I might do, Holly?
What?
I think I might take the worms off this rod and put some corn on.
Can I hold that crayfish?
Yep, there you go. You can put it back. Now I know there are finned fish here because I caught a carp here last year, but the crayfish are going bonkers today. So what I'm going to do, I've taken the worm off and I'm going to put some sweet corn kernels on a hook and see if that can lure a carp. Right, now I've got 5 corn kernels on this little hook. I'm just going to flick it over there, which is right where it's been catching heaps of crayfish. That's not to say crayfish won't eat corn. It wouldn't surprise me if I caught a crayfish on corn. I've never done it, but it's possible. Right, so now I'm fishing with 2 rods, one with janjuck worms and one with Edgell corn, super sweet corn to be exact. And while Holly and I sit here patiently waiting for a fish, Loretta's gone for a walk with her camera. We've seen some awesome bird life out here today in the Riverina. I'll share some of Loretta's photos right now And if you like them, then you can check out her Facebook page, Loretta's Funky Photos. What are we going to call this video, Holly? When crayfish attack? Or catching crayfish on fishing rods? Or have you got any ideas?
Catching shellfish.
Catching shellfish. I like that one. I'm going to check both my lines. Feels like there's something small on there. What is on there? Oh, what's that? A bit of reed or something maybe. Hey? Oh look, I thought I saw something coming on my corn. Look at this. I caught a yabby. You wouldn't read about it. I can't believe this. I'd done this time last year. I was filming and I said, what is that? And it fell off and I had a look and I thought it must have just been a bit of weed. So I turned my camera off. Then Loretta yelled out and said, come over this way further. I caught a yabby on my corn. Can you believe that? I haven't caught a finned fish, but I'm catching everything else. This spot just absolutely amazes me. I've caught 3 or 4 crayfish and now a yabby. Wow. A yabby on a fishing rod in June is one thing. I'd done it last year and I blew my mind, and now I've done it on a bloody bit of corn. You wouldn't read about it. There he goes. I caught a few crayfish on this rod, so I took the worms off. I thought I'll put a bit of corn on there, might slow down the crays and I might catch a carp. And I caught a bloody yabby on my corn. That's not the sort of clothing that I usually associate with catching yabbies. A jacket and wrapped up in a blanket.
It's cold, mate.
I know it's cold. One of the coldest days this year, I reckon. Well, I've gone over my 2-hour limit. We've been here about 2.5 hours. I've had a wonderful adventure. Haven't caught any finned fish today, just a few shellfish. But if you want to see me catch a finned fish here, I'm going to leave you now with a clip that I filmed here this time last year. Thanks very much for watching. If you've seen the clip, feel free to click off. Otherwise, if you want to watch it, here's some action from this spot about 12 months ago. Just about to pull this up and put a new worm on it. Look at it dancing around. It's almost like a fish bite, that one. It is a fish bite. I've got a fish instead of a bloody crayfish. I knew there'd be carp here. Look at it. I knew it. I just checked that one. I thought, nah, those worms have hardly been touched. I thought, I just got my worm bucket here. I'm about to put some fresh worms on. And I thought, that's getting a bite. And I thought, that looks a bit more like a fish bite than a crayfish bite. Well, I reckon I might be about to help these small crayfish grow into big crayfish, because if I manage to land this, which I don't see why I won't now, I'll kill it. I'll cut some slits in it and I'll throw it back and let it sink, and then those crayfish will be able to fatten up a little bit. And they had to be here. Well, I saw the scale. There we go, folks. I'll get a if I've got a tape measure, I'll get a measure. If I haven't, I'll just have a guess, but I reckon that's probably around about the 55 centimetre mark. Ugh. Right, he is, I said 55, he's right on. Just I tell you what, the old iometer is calibrated perfectly. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to kill him, then I'm going to cut some slits through him so that he sinks to the bottom and fattens up them crayfish. Right, now a couple of fresh Jan-Juck worms on here. That's the first time I've put fresh bait on this line. All those crayfish on that yabby came from the same set of worms, and the carp. Getting these real little nibbles on here. They're almost like shrimp bites. See that? If I didn't know any better, I'd think that was a shrimp. What of a bite. Look at that. There's something really small on here. See if I can lift it out of the water before it gets off. Tank it off, tank it off, tank it off, and... Oh, you wouldn't read about it. Look at this. Look, 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 look. It's the middle of winter. It's the ow! It's the middle of winter. It is the 26th of June. I've caught 3 or 4 crayfish, which is expected this time of year. I just didn't know they were here. 1 carp, which is kind of expected this time of year. 1 shrimp and 1 yabby. A freshwater shrimp. I couldn't make this up. I could not make this stuff up. I'm not joking. Look at that. The best yellow belly and red. Ow! Best yellow belly and redfin bait there is. And they hurt a little bit too, apparently. See you later, mate. Hide him above the water and he'll let go. Mate. Come on now. Come on. Off you go. Ow! Don't just dig in. I'm wiggling my thumb so he lets go. Every time I want... Ow!